Did you listen to Jeff and Professor Hamo in the morning? Here's what you missed.
Started a clinic in Migori County, of all places.
Alipita Nairobi, akapita Naikuru, akaenda.
Ended up in Migori.
The
The kind of work that they are doing. Do you know they fly doctors in every 2 weeks from America?
Imagine.
Who does that? Who does that?
man with the same.
Two first names. Steve James, welcome to Hot 96.
Wow. I am happy to be here.
The man from Alabama. Good to see you, man.
Thank you.
Oh, and you have such a great story. I mean, you know, we never talk about these stories enough, and I'm glad you guys have come today because Kenyans need to know how lucky they are. So 18 years ago, your daughter tells you, Dad, I want to go to Kenya.
Yeah, it was late one night. We were in bed. She woke us up. She said, Daddy, I've got to support a child in Kenya.
Just like that?
Yeah, but she was like that. You know, she was the tender-hearted one who prayed for the person who was downtrodden, or, you know, when Ethiopia had a drought, she was praying as a little tiny girl for Ethiopians. And so that didn't surprise me.
And she was 16 years old at the time.
Right.
So what did you tell her?
Well, she was unemployed. So, you know, the next day she reminded me, and I told her to go out and get a job.
Yeah.
So on Monday, she had a job. And she religiously sent $24 a month into Christian Children's Fund.
In Kenya.
Yeah.
And she continued doing that.
Yeah, she found this beautiful little Kikuyu boy named Newton, who is doing well now.
Yeah.
She supported him for about 3 years.
My goodness. So when did you first come here?
Well, I had no plans to come here. I didn't want to come to Africa. You know, I didn't really know what was going on over here. And but Brittany had, you know, God had different plans through her. And unfortunately, 3 days after 9/11, I was driving across the Golden Gate Bridge on vacation, my wife and I looked down and my phone was turned off. And it said 26 missed phone calls. So I'm driving across the bridge, turn it back on, call home, everybody's crying. Something's bad is wrong. I knew that. And they said something had happened to one of my children, but they couldn't tell me. And I started screaming, please tell me. And my wife's getting alarmed, and finally they told me that my daughter Brittany was found dead in her college apartment. And so, you know, my wife collapsed right to the right in the seat, and I pulled over from the bridge, and, you know, I really don't remember much about that weekend, but your life is crushed, you know, a beautiful person who has her whole life ahead of her, just a little, just a beautiful young woman, and so, you know, in that process, you're trying to figure out why, and it was real clear to me that God wanted me to do something she wanted to do. She never got to meet Newton, so I came to Kenya in 2002. My life was changed.
Did you meet Newton?
I did. I met him here in Nairobi. One of the greatest days of my life. He was a little boy. I wasn't even sure he was real. You know, really, you send money in like that, you don't know what happens.
It's a lot of faith, you know.
Yeah. But I also went to Migori. I found a hospital on the internet, Ojeli Hospital. He invited me to come work, and, you know, that was pretty tough.
I can imagine. I mean, the facilities must not be anything you were used to back there.
No, no comparison. It was like those who have and those who do not have.
And when you walked in and saw all this, did you say, what am I doing here?
Exactly. You know, you're hit in the face with a question that's difficult to answer, and that's, why do I have so much and other people have so little? Why? You know, when a mother, you know, at home, when I'm in the U.S., when a child is sick, healthcare is available. And here to see some tragic stories, you know, they just rip your heart out. And so that question was answered on that trip for me, and that's so I could give back.
And you then started KenyaRelief.org.
Right.
What is that about? Well,
our mission statement, which was, you know, our mission statements are, you sit in a boardroom and labor for a weekend, but it's so true. It's for us. It's bringing hope to a new generation of Kenyans through cooperation between communities, uniting for a common good. So that sort of directed us these entire 18 years, and we still don't. It still holds true, and you know, especially in Kenya right now with all the things that have happened with election and tribalism and people struggling to come together as one. It's so appropriate, I think, for humanity, but it shows here. You know, it shows in America too with our political parties, but Kenya Relief is about bringing people together, setting aside your differences and focusing on a common good.
And 18 years later, people are streaming into Migori from across the country to get treated.
Yes.
To get treated.
Oh, we have patients from Eldoret, from Machakos, from all over, even down into Tanzania. Had a few from Uganda come because they heard about our services.
And what are you treating? What's the most common ailment?
Most common thing for us, for some reason, has been goiter surgery. We
this
have
throat thing that swells and stuff, right?
Yeah,
is that the thyroid or what?
Thyroid,
is it?
yes, and some are, and it's not that. It's just difficult in Kenya, but you know, to have the money to have the surgery, and we charge very, very little, less than $100 for an operation that costs, you know, $1,500.
1,000 shillings.
No, 10,000.
10,000 or $100.
That's for the biggest. You know, and then we're able to do that right now.
And you can treat this goiter thing? You can treat it?
Well, yeah, there's sometimes medical therapy that's needed. Sometimes you can't do the surgery for one reason or another. But most of the time, if they're causing a problem for the patient, you can remove it safely.
What else do you treat?
We do hernias. We just had an cataract eye surgery team. So we did 100 people. We restored sight to 100 people. And we have 24 teams a year. So every 2 weeks, we have a team of Americans. But they're not, now it's not just Americans. We've had a team from Portugal that joined us. We have scattered people from different countries.
And how long do they stay when they come in?
Well, we keep them overnight. We're in the process. I met with CS Sicily and the Minister of Health in Migori and the governor, and everyone is the ambassador from the U.S. Everyone's supportive of us building a specialty unit in 2020 where we can, you know, keep patients in the hospital a long time. Right now we're doing outpatient. They're big surgeries for outpatient, but we try and monitor them closely afterwards.
Once they're done, they go for because there's nowhere to sleep, right?
Picky.
Oh, take it.
Border.
Yeah.
You've just had your throat removed.
Yeah, bro. I mean,
okay, for you, Steve James, for you, do you think you made the right decision?
Oh my, I can't imagine. You know, sometimes you think, I'd turn back the hands of time to hold my daughter again. But I know now, it's been a while, I know that God had purpose in that loss, like He does everyone. And I just look forward to seeing her again. But did I do the right thing? I think just like I'm sitting here with you right now, God spends a whole lifetime preparing you for a moment. And even sharing this right now is the same. You know, God prepared me for this through my education. I'm a Christian, you know, through my faith, through my loss. So, yeah, I can't see any other way, as painful as it is, to get where we are. Because there's been hundreds of thousands of people affected. I mean, we employ 88 people full-time now in Migori. We bring 500 per year to serve. Then we hire interpreters. We work with Tenwick Hospital where they send residents down with us. Even Moy Teaching Hospital has sent residents because we do high-volume surgery. And they get training. So we're developing that.
Help me understand this. We have something called devolution in this country. And people can't even get health care despite money being sent in various counties. So how are you able to do it? In our own counties have problems treating their own people.
Well, it's the grace of God, really. I think He had a great plan for the Kenyans who call out for help, who pray for help. He had a plan for Americans who could have their eyes open, just like me. So He's been in the thick of it. But He continues to bless us, meeting good people. You know, the governor of Migori County and they've been good to us every time they could. And you know, even yesterday I was in Kisi. You know, we have patients coming from Kisi. I meet the governor this afternoon from Kisi. I think it's a teamwork And so we do it by working with locals.
Do you feel overwhelmed sometimes?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Every day. But you know, if I didn't start my day with Christ, if I didn't start my day praying, I couldn't do it as a human being.
Yeah.
But someone told me once, John Maxwell said, if you want to do great things in life, put great people around you. And that's how you succeed, you know. So I feel like even another thing that's so important and I'm just loving is that we've connected with diaspora. So this last year we had 25 American Kenyans come and serve. Next year we're targeting several of our teams, and we have over 50 Kenyans who are returning to give back.
Wow.
And they're not all Luos. They're not just from Migori County. We had from every tribe just about come with us, and that's such a strong message to give to the people of Kenya.
Yeah.
You know, that they should be one.
Absolutely. Steve, you don't only operate a clinic, you also have a school and an orphanage?
Yeah, we have a small school with 700 children.
Is that small?
700.
Yeah.
That's a whole village.
700.
We finished number 2 in the county already.
Yeah.
One of our kids scored 412.
Wow.
Yeah. 100 of them are orphans. We also have an orphanage with 200 children.
But all the school kids mostly are orphans?
No, just 100.
Just 100.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha. And then an orphanage as well.
Yes.
Mm.
Brittany's Home of Grace.
Brittany again. Oh,
She inspires everything. You know.
she must be smiling wherever she is.
She's out there she's getting her hands dirty somewhere. I dreamed about her riding a horse one day in heaven, just whipping that thing, you know. She was on a mission.
Yeah.
She's probably here right now.
Yeah.
She surely is.
If people want more information on kenyarelief.org, where can they go?
That's where you go, kenyarelief.org. And I'll tell you, I just see a great movement in Kenya of people. I'm just so excited about some genuine efforts to put their differences aside and start seeking what's good for the whole country. And I'm happy to be a part of it.
I
Yeah.
wish more people thought like you, Steve. I tell you, you know. And it makes no sense why we discriminate against someone's ethnic background. It makes zero sense. And yet we still keep doing it. It's a shame. But maybe one day we'll wake up. Maybe.
We need to. I mean, if people can come from wherever
From Alabama.
and help us come together.
Do you miss Alabama?
Well, I don't.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is my second home.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's my first home. You know, and I thank the people in this country for allowing us to come and serve and learn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to come back again, by the way. Anytime you want somebody to talk, I've got plenty to say.
Wuka amesema.
Did you bring your wife over?
She's not here. She comes, not as much as I do. You know, I'm here 4 or 5 times a year.
Great. What does she think of this place? Does she think you're nuts?
You know, wives always have to put a lid on things. Don't they? She gives me reality check when I get home. No, but she loves it. I mean, it's about Brittany.
Yeah.
It's about our faith. No.
Any regret, Steve, of ever coming here, of ever turning your back on Alabama?
No way. No way. I have to deal with that question a lot in the U.S. Why do you want to go to Africa when we have our own problems?
Yeah.
And, you know, usually it's spoken out of ignorance or by people who don't do anything. But they don't, you know, unless you come and see. And Kenya is moving fast. I'm shocked at how the country is progressing in every way. Someday I'll be gone, but I'm very excited about that Kenyans are getting in the U.S. and Kenyans abroad. I mean, I think I have an appointment on Friday with the Kenya Diaspora Alliance because I think that's a real important thing. Because so many Kenyans, they leave and they prosper. They like to help in their own country, but they don't know how.
There you go.
So we're gonna show them how.
You're the bridge, Steve. You're the bridge.
And we don't need just doctors and nurses. We could use Jeff down there once or twice a year.
There you go.
Yeah.
Tweets are coming in thick and fast.
Oh, yeah.
Kim Mutai Korir says, such an amazing person. Imagine what Steve is doing more than some of our county governors, more than them, to address healthcare. So it's such a shame to us, but an inspiration to have known this man. Keep doing what you do, man of God. Keep doing what you do. Well done, man. I mean, this is why we do our show. We want to get reactions and we want to touch people. Touch them and make them wake up sometimes. We are speaking live to the founder of KenyaRelief.org, Steve James, all the way from Alabama to Kenya to make a difference.
Did you listen to Jeff and Professor Hemo in the morning? Here's what you missed.
Shinsky say, Tujiangalie.
Oh, yeah.
Are we doing that? When someone like Steve James comes all the way from Alabama, helps open a clinic and an organization and a school and an orphanage.
A small one.
And we're just here.
A small one.
And we're just here. Shame on us sometimes. Steve James is in the house talking about his story. His daughter is the one who inspired him to come to Africa. Wow. And she never got a chance to come to Africa. And he is here representing her, doing things in Brittany's name. What a story.
Yeah.
And what are we doing?
Oh, no, we're putting restrictions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, on everything.
Yeah.
38 minutes past the hour, 7 o'clock on this wicked Wednesday morning. You're tuned in to the hottest breakfast show in all of Africa. Hashtag
Jeff and Hamo on hot.
And before we go back to speak to Steve, such an inspiration, folks, listen up in this interview. Listen up. Before we continue, just want to let you know, Safaricom has this new amazing service called Reverse Call. You have no excuse whatsoever, or if you're in an emergency and have no credit, and no please call me's.
None is at home.
Something called Reverse Call.
Oh, hash.
Number.
Call.
Again.
Hash.
Number.
Call.
It's as easy as that. Try it. Try it now.
Oh, yes.
The phone will ring just like a regular call.
Kabisa.
And the person on the other side, there'll be a voicemail saying, you have received a reverse call from so-and-so. Press 1
To accept.
Press 2
To reject.
And if you press 1
The charges are on you.
and if you press 2,
Kama kawaida, atafute mwingine wa kupigia.
all this courtesy Safaricom. Safaricom, tuko nawe.
Kila mwana kila wakati.
That's right. Oh, by the way, the census is going on as we speak. Today is day 5. And it's only daytime, folks. So be home to be counted.
Kabisa.
It is part of the Constitution. It is part of the law. Lock up your dogs
Tafadhali and yourselves.
if you're violent. Just be there and be counted because that's what we do. All this courtesy Kenya National Bureau of Statistics. They say Jitokeze.
Where's a bike?
Or if you're not from Kitisuru, Jitokeze.
Where's a bike?
Tweets coming in thick and fast. Sony says, may God bless you, Steve James. It breaks my heart when our own leaders are busy politicking, yet we have people dying of malaria in the 21st century. Shame on us.
You can say that
again. Raised to the power of infinite. People dying of malaria in the 21st century. Here in Baringo, in Tiati. Steve, tell me, I mean, I'm not saying you are the savior, but you know, I mean, we need to look in the mirror sometimes, and I don't know. I can go on. Look, you are even having problems bringing in used equipment.
Yes, and I can't fault anybody for creating those requirements. They're done to protect the citizens in Kenya, so that the wrong things are not sent here, that things are proper, they're serviced properly, they're in date, and all those sort of things. So that's their. But it makes it difficult for nonprofits, for faith-based organizations to send good equipment and supplies into Kenya. So I'm hoping, meeting with a number of people, you know, the ambassador met with C.S. Sicily about that. I think everybody is in favor of some sort of easing on those restrictions, because there is an organization in the United States that is an accrediting body. So they make sure that all equipment is appropriate, that it's serviced by a master's level biomedical engineer, and that nothing is sent that's not usable. So that's my approach, is that to satisfy those requirements, this country consider this accrediting body who meets WHO standards, and let's get more equipment here. Let's get appropriate equipment so that the people who are striving to, towards universal health care, that we can do that.
It's a tough one there, Steve. There's too many people who want to eat in between.
We are making a lot of money with the dead equipment.
The equipment sitting there for years.
Yes.
But people pay for it.
No one has been trained to use them fast.
Yeah.
Shame. Victor is a medical student. He says, this guy, Steve, is encouraging young medical students like me. Keep going, Steve. Keep going.
Yes.
Moses King says, Steve James from Alabama. Loving the conversation. May God continue showering blessings to him. What keeps you going, Steve? Other than Brittany, what keeps you going?
Well, I mean, certainly my personality is a driven one, but, you know, I just keep being reminded by God, if you're going to do anything great in life, you'll have obstacles, challenges, but, you know, all through Scripture it talks about that. Nothing good comes without a lot of pain and hard work. And to see the people, to walk through the streets in Migori, or even Kisi, or even Homo Bay, or even sometimes Nairobi, I meet a patient that said, I got my sight back at Kenya Relief.
Wow.
You know, those kind of things. You know, we have a child right now in our orphanage who was our first little girl named Stancy. I met her dad who was dying of HIV, AIDS in 2002. Now she's a social worker. She calls herself a seed of Kenya Relief. So those kind of things drive me. I think God gives me more years because of that. You know, I just had heart surgery last September. Thought I'd never return, but I'm stronger than ever.
Look at you.
I'm ready.
So many people are praying for you.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Clearly. Clearly. My goodness.
And you know, cancer right now is on the rise.
Across the
You know, and God has brought us to meet new people. This afternoon I meet with some physicians from Aga Khan. What a beautiful hospital.
Yeah, fantastic.
Those kind of services should be available everywhere. So, and they're trying, but I think as we partner together, we have a team, a joint team next year in the spring of breast screening in Migori. We're bringing ultrasounds and trying to get a mammogram machine and do some screening on one team. Then the next surgery, half of our team will be from Aga Khan, half will be from the U.S. Maybe Kenyans from the U.S. And we're gonna change some lives, and that's just the start. So
you know what? Patients are sometimes diagnosed with stage 1, stage 2, right? But because they cannot get to a clinic or a hospital, jumps up to stage 3, stage 4, and by that time it's too late.
yeah.
It's too late, Steve.
There was an article in the paper today I read about that, the need for more screening. And so that's, you know, my specialty is surgery and anesthesia, like the mastectomy part of it.
Yes.
But we're recruiting pathologists, we're recruiting imaging people, so I can see us doing some great things for Kenya.
I'm interviewing a young lady tonight on the show I have who's 13 years old. She has breast cancer. 13. This disease has it's become a scourge.
Yeah. You're doing some great things in this country too. I have to say that the First Lady of Kenya, who I've met 5 times, I've been to the State House, blessed to be invited. The Beyond Zero campaign has had a huge impact, and it continues to grow into reaching more and more women and children. And she's doing a great job, and we're looking for ways to support that program as well with some of the equipment that we're trying to get in here, and with maybe some extra clinical personnel that can join some of the camps, you know, but I commend her for that great work that she's doing.
Well, absolutely. She's done a fantastic Beyond Zero, really, really well, and she's committed and passionate. Well done, First Lady, well done. At the same time, Steve, do you wake up sometimes and realize, you know what, I can't save the world. I can't save everybody. Some people will die, right? I'm sure it happens in Migori. Some people just die on the operating table, and that must affect you too.
It does, but you know, like Stancy, the girl I was telling you about,
The seed.
or Kevin, I could go on story after story. People who their lives were restored, and you think how much work you've put into something, but really, if it's worth it, if it saves one life that's just having an impact in the world. That girl has purpose now. And Kevin, a boy that came in 26 years old, I see him today. 4 years ago he came in, he was dying. 26-year-old artist. Now he can't. Now he's cutting hair. You know, he's wanting to make a difference. He's wanting to help kids like we helped him. So, wow. Yes, I'm doing the right thing, and yes, I love it.
You mentioned the First Lady a moment ago. She actually came and opened the clinic during the height of madness after the last election.
Yes, and you know, I know that she did that. You know, I know that she did that because she cares. That was a bold move. You know, I'm not into politics at all, and I don't think she is either. And I appreciate that about her. She keeps her eyes on what's important. And yeah, she came down and she thought it was cool, and we all thought it was cool, you know. Yeah.
Have you met her husband yet?
Not yet. I sent him a gift. I hope he got it.
More booty.
Yeah, it was the handshake. From Kisi.
There you go.
The soapstone.
Yes.
Send him the SMS.
Oh, okay, right now.
He wants to get there's someone who wants to meet you from Alabama.
From Alabama.
You know, the Bible says that God changes the heart of a king and the course of a river. So maybe someday I'll meet him.
There you go.
I want to meet everybody.
Can this clinic, KenyaRelief.org, can it be replicated in other counties? I mean, look, Wajir or where it's difficult to get services.
Pokot, where people are dying.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's our goal. You know, you create a strong central structure, which we're trying to do, so that we can do that, so that we don't spread ourselves too thin. But the key is partnership. You know, Kenya Relief doesn't have to be in every town, but a collaborative effort from Kenya Relief, from Beyond Zero, from Aga Khan, from Nairobi Hospital, from from businesses, Safaricom. You know, everybody's name can be on it. You just got to have somebody that is pulling people together. You know, I think that's a very unique thing. It's not all about me. It's not all about Kenya Relief. It's not all about those other partners, but it's about what we can accomplish together. And I think doing what it takes to lift up another organization, not expecting anything in return. I think that's the key to bringing universal health care. The government can't do it on its own. The county government can't do it on its own. But faith-based groups, people from all over the world, yeah, I think it could be replicated, but better than what it is now.
Absolutely. Well done. Well done. Steve James, you're a
1 month speed.
You're like, what's her name? Joan of Arc.
She got burned at the stake.
Well, let's look for another one.
No one's gonna burn you, though.
You gotta do better than that.
But Migori?
I don't want to be stranded on any island. I don't want to be burned.
Have they given you a name in Migori?
Okay. Well, I'm born in the morning.
So?
Okini.
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 Steve Okini James.
Yes.
But I got a name in Kisi yesterday.
Go on.
I can't tell you what it was.
Don't worry, we probably can't pronounce it either.
Yeah.
We have a Kisi elder here.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Maybe you can give us the name.
Steve Okini James.
Yes.
I love it. I love it.
Oh, man.
Well done, man. And keep doing what you do, because this is important. This is important, and maybe you can wake up a few people along the way.
Oh, let's wake them up.
Let's wake them up. Let's wake them up, because we need to. If we don't do it now, we're in big trouble. KenyaRelief.org. Remember that. You can go to the website, check them out. Literally saving lives, one at a time. And they always say, leaving a legacy of hope. Thanks for your time, sir.
Bless you.
God bless you.
Catch Jeff Koinange and Professor Hamo every day, Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. only on Hot 96.